All right, today in the shop we have a 2014 Dodge Caravan. This is our personal van, and we're going to be doing some brake work on it. So we're going to do the front pads and rotors, rear pads and rotors. Already did the calipers on the rear. The pins were bad in them. The mounts needed to be replaced, and we're going to do hoses all the way around. So let's get in and get this thing done. So just work them real slowly, back and forth, back and forth. Once you start getting them moved, a little bit of tapping, a little bit of heat, they will come out. Whether or not they're any good, that's a choice you'll have to make. Definitely clean them up and put plenty of grease on them so that it doesn't happen again. I like putting the brake pads into the caliper mounts first. It just makes it a lot easier to get them in and how they need to be. My line is not spinning very well in the nut, and I don't want to go through the hassle of changing that right now. So I'm going to try this. It sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't. So pull the little clip, the clip that holds the brake line. Usually you don't do that, and then push it down through, and I already got it loose, and now I can just spin it off. Now take the new one. There we go. We got it started. So we'll spin that all the way up until it's pretty close to tight. Okay, it's snug right there. And now I'll turn it, hopefully, to where it'll go back up into the clip. Okay, sorry, I had to get you guys out of the way. So what I ended up doing is getting a wrench on the line, turning it till it went pop up, put the clip back in, and then just made sure that I was tight on the line. And now when I'm bleeding everything, I'll make sure that that line isn't leaking right there. But yeah, it was just stuck in there, and I know if I start turning it, you'll just twist that line off. So I didn't want to do that. Here's another simple little thing for a bleeder. So you can see I've already got fluid running up my hose. And so this is just a pop bottle, a little piece of wire, and a hose stuck through it. I know I've shown you like a power bleeder before. I believe I did a review on one of those. But this is a real simple way, and if you get a light in there, you can watch, and sometimes you just watch the bubbles as they work their way out. So this one looks like it's going to be pretty good. We're going to let it run for just a little bit. You can see the fluid was pretty nasty in there. All right, we're going to change out the rear hose now. We already did the front hoses. So it takes just a 11 mil at the caliper, and then a 12 mil on the brake line. So we're just going to do one at a time. So I'm just going to snug this one for now. There we go. Leave that on just out of the way. Hopefully this one will go nice and easy. I already freed it up a little bit, but you just never know how that's gonna go. And there we go, that one's out. A pain in the butt. Okay, there we go. So remember, the line is 12 mil and the caliper is 11. Make sure we put all these little guys back where they're supposed to be. All right, now back to the brake job. Okay, so back to this. And usually they've got like a little shoulder right here that holds them, but these do not. So you got to put a wrench on it. It doesn't take much, but the parking brake is really tight on that one. So there is this little protector, skid plate, whatever you want to call it. I just leave that on. The back ones, I already had the back ones off a while ago. That's one of the reasons they came off so easy. Some people say not to put anti-seize on lug nuts. I say do it. So, leave that up to you. Whatever you do your research, decide, ask somebody you trust, and put in the comments whether or not you use anti-seize. I like hearing what other people do or why they don't do it. So I'm just gonna kind of preload these before I mount them on the car. Okay, that one looks good. There it is. All right, second one's on. This has got the built-in parking brake on it, so you have to use one of these tools to compress it. This one is kind of slick though, because it's got this little magnet right there in the middle. So it does kind of stay on. That's a cheap one. I'll link that in the description as well. I bought my set from Amazon. Alright, back on. Woohoo! 26 foot-pounds on those. And I think that's it. Now we'll do a quick bleed. 10 mil on this side. And again, we'll just get out our little bleeder. So hopefully you'll be able to see some bubbles. There's our fluid. Oh. So we just changed that hose. So far, one little bubble. It's not too bad. A little bit of debris, it looks like. Here, we'll open that up just a little bit more. Ah, there's another one. Last time I did this brake job on this van, this back one was kind of a pain to get bled. But this seems to work pretty good. So we're gonna let that go for a little bit. All right, so overall the brake job went pretty well. Nothing was super difficult. Nuts and bolts, all that came out pretty much no problem. As you can see, I had some trouble with the pins. Probably should have replaced those and redone the mounts, but I cleaned them up. We'll see how they operate. I'll just make sure I keep them greased well. The hoses, the reason I did the hoses is it's got 108,000 miles on it. They were the originals, and I just figured I was in there doing it, I might as well do it. They're fairly reasonable. One thing that was bad on this brake job was the bleeding. It was tough. It got pretty late by the time I was done doing all the parts and getting it back together. So I ended up leaving it till the next day, and then I finished and did one more bleed, and got it. But it took quite a bit of bleeding to get it out. In fact, I ended up pretty much flushing the entire system, so I'm glad I did that. But anyway, I appreciate you watching. I hope that maybe you can walk away with something from this video. If it helps you out, you know, give me a thumbs up, or if you got some kind of comment, I always enjoy reading them. Put it down in the comments. Thanks again for watching. Come again.